Let's be honest, jungling is one of the most important and hardest role in Honor of Kings. You've got lanes screaming for ganks, objectives to time, and a map that never stays still. But then there comes some insane heroes. The ones that make your hands cramp after one match. The heroes where if you're a millisecond off with a dash or a hook, you aren't just losing a kill, you're probably ending up in a funny fails montage. Today, we are ranking the 8 hardest jungle heroes in Honor of Kings based on mechanical complexity, map IQ, and the mental stack. Let's see who sits at the top. At number 8, we have Musashi. Musashi's passive is kinda simple. He receives 1 stack upon using skills, for up to 2 stacks. While he has stacks, he gains enhanced basic attacks that consume 1 stack, are not affected by attack speed, and reduce the cooldowns of first and second skills by a second upon hitting an enemy. So why he's on the list? 'Cause you can't just mash buttons. If you use all your skills at once without weaving in those 2 auto attacks, your cooldowns stay long, and you become a sitting duck. But do you know another thing that makes him hard to master? It's using his ultimate and first skill to full potential. Because if you use Musashi's ultimate in wrong target, for example, you dive the tank instead of the marksman. That means you've just committed suicide. And also for his first skill, in case you don't know, it can almost cancel any attacks or ultimates from enemy targets if used in right time. For example, if an enemy Kongming used his ultimate on Musashi, using his first skill timely can cancel Kongming's ultimate. So, yeah, Musashi seems easy to play, but he is actually a very hard jungle hero to master. At number 7, we have Yao.
Waiting for a star. Ha ha! Hey, yeah, ho!
Don't let his flashy looks fool you. Playing Yao is like playing a high-speed game of memory. Everything in his kit revolves around his energy bar. Once you hit 3 segments of energy, Yao enters an enhanced state, resetting his cooldowns and letting you double cast his abilities for massive impact. The reason he's ranked here is the energy management. You have to plan your double cast. Do you use the double spin for damage or the double dash for a long-range chase? If you mess up the energy count, you'll dash into a fight with no skills left to get out. Yao's combos are also simple, and most easy one is his 2-stack combo, which is with 2 stacks you go in with second skill 2 times and knock up, then use enhanced basic attack, after then use first skill and ultimate fast and move to safe position. But sadly, many players suffers to correctly use Yao's skill to full potential by managing his ultimate mark, cooldowns, and skill resets. What do you guys think? Is Yao deserves to sit in the top 8 hardest list? At number 6, we have Faye.
I never wanted to be a hero. It's too much work.
I know some of you think he's just a parkour hero, but his actual kit is built on a high-risk, high-reward system that most players completely overlook. Fade lives on the walls. When he's up there, his basic attacks become ranged, and he gains a massive 15% boost to his field of vision. But there is a huge penalty. If you get hit by crowd control while on a wall, that stun lasts 25% longer. 1 stray stun and you aren't just falling, you're dead. Fade's second skill is his core mobility. He can stock up to 4 uses of this jump. To be a pro Fade, you have to manage these charges like a resource. If you waste your jumps getting into a fight and have no Jade left to get out, you're stuck in the middle of the enemy team with that 25% CC penalty. Fade is ranked here because he requires perfect resource management of his skill 2 charges and extreme awareness of enemy CC. If you can handle the gains of the wall without getting hit by the penalty, you become an unkillable ghost. So overall, I think it's justified to put Fade in 6th place because of how hard it's to properly manage his abilities to full potential, as well as to not die and kill backline enemies. Taking the number 5 spot is the legendary Han Xin. If you've played Honor of Kings for more than a week, you've probably been Han Xinned, which is when a guy disappears with your red buff before you even knew he was there. Han Xin is the definition of a macro king, but his mechanics are a total brain bender for new players. Let's talk about his biggest confusion, second skill. Unlike almost every other dash in the game, this is a backflip. To move forward, you have to flick your joystick backward. It sounds simple, but in the heat of a 5-man team fight, your brain will panic, and you will backflip straight into the enemy tower. Mastering this reverse movement is the first step to being a Han Xin main. His skill 1 has 2 phases, a knock-up dash and a follow-up leap. Combined with his skill 2, Han Xin has 3 high-speed mobility tools. But why he's difficult? Han Xin has the lowest base HP of almost any jungler. If you use all 3 dashes to get into a fight and don't get the kill, you have 0 escape. You have to learn the bait and switch, dash in, knock them up, and save that last dash to vanish over a wall. His passive gives him a massive attack speed boost and a knock-up on every 4th basic attack. You need to time your ultimate perfectly. During his ult, he is immune to crowd control. A pro Han Xin will wait for the enemy mage to throw their stun, pop the ult to eat the CC for free, and then use those 3 dashes to finish the job. Han Xin isn't just hard because of his buttons, he's hard because he requires perfect map pressure. You have to be everywhere at once. If you aren't leading the game in gold by at least 2,000, you're not an assassin, you're a liability. You need fast fingers and a faster brain to make him work. Now we're in the elite tier. At number 4 we have Zhuan's. Zhuan's is one of those heroes where if you miss your skill 2 hook, you might as well just go back to base and wait for the cooldown. Everything, and I mean everything, depends on that chain. If you land it, you're a god. If you miss, you're useless. But landing the hook is only half the battle. You have to stay at the perfect distance, hitting them with the very tip of your sickle to get that extra damage. It's like a deadly dance. You're pulling them, flipping them over your head into towers, and blinking through them to dodge their ults. When you get a kill and his frenzy passive kicks in, he moves so fast it's actually hard to control. It feels like trying to steer a rocket ship with a broken steering wheel. If you've got the precision, he's a beast, but he's definitely not for beginners. Zhuan's can be more challenging because he's throwing the enemy away from your team instead of into them. A bad Zhuan's toss can actually save an enemy's life. Alright, coming in at number 3 is the man, the myth, the legend, Li Bai. Everyone loves Li Bai because he looks like a straight-up movie star when he's playing well, but man, he is stressful to properly play. The thing about Li Bai is that you can't just jump into a fight whenever you feel like it. You're basically playing a locked character. You have to find a jungle creep or a minion, hit it 4 times to unlock your ult, and then you have a tiny window to actually do something. You dash in once, dash in twice, drop your ult to go untargetable while the enemy team tries to hit air, and then you port back to your shadow. It's the ultimate hit and run. But here's the problem. Everyone knows where you started. If you're playing against a smart team, they aren't chasing you, they're just standing on your shadow waiting for you to come back. If you mess up your timing and port back half a second too late, or if you port back right into a stun, you're done. You have 0 health. You have to be a master of the blink, knowing exactly how much time you have to stay in the fight before you have to vanish. It's high speed, high stakes, and honestly, it's one of the most satisfying feelings in the game when you pull it off. So what do you guys think about Li Bai? Was it okay for me to put him in this place, or should I have put in much lower rank? Make sure to let me know in the comments. Now we're getting into the god tier of difficulty. At number 2, we have Luna. Luna is basically a rhythm game hidden inside a MOBA. If you see a good Luna, she's not just moving, she's dancing. She can dash 10, 20, 30 times in a row without stopping. It looks like she has no cooldowns, right? Well, that's because she doesn't, as long as she's perfectly managing her passive. Her ult resets every time she hits a marked target. That sounds cool until you realize you have to track those tiny moonlight marks on 5 different heroes, 3 minions, and a jungle buff all at the same time while moving around like crazy. The moment you mess up, the second you dash into someone without a mark, your ult goes on a 20-second or around 10 seconds in late game cooldown. And in Honor of Kings, 10 or 20 seconds is an eternity. You went from being an unkillable goddess to a squishy girl with a sword just standing there in the middle of a 1v5, wondering where it all went wrong. Plus, she is the ultimate blue buff slave. If the enemy team steals your blue, your infinite combo lasts about 3 seconds before you're out of mana and totally useless. Playing Luna isn't just about fast fingers. It's about staying calm when everything is exploding around you. One slip of the thumb, and it's game over.
Triple kill. Victory.
And finally, at number 1, the absolute mechanical nightmare of Honor of Kings, Jing.
Know this. Dark.
If Luna is a rhythm game, Jing is like trying to play 2 different games at the exact same time. Her kit is built around her mirror realm. When you pop her ult, she creates a massive field of shards and a mirror clone that copies everything you do. Now here's why she's the hardest. To play her like the pros, you have to master the mirror swap. You're basically teleporting back and forth between your real self and your clone every single second to reset your dashes and dodge every skill the enemy throws at you. When you see a top-tier Jing player, they aren't even a hero anymore. They're just a blur of gold and glass on your screen. You have to track your position, your clone's position, and the enemy's position while hitting buttons faster than any other hero in the game. It's pure high-speed chaos. The skill floor here is massive. If you don't have the APM, you'll just dash into a wall or lose track of where your real body even is. But in the hands of a master, Jing is literally untouchable. She's the only hero in the game that makes a 1v5 look like a fair fight. If you can main Jing, you aren't just a jungler, you're a legend. That is the definitive ranking. Jing takes the crown for sheer mechanical speed, but every hero on this list is a monster in the right hands. Which one are you brave enough to main? Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button if this helped you out, and I'll see you in the next one.